it from the top. I'm going to come through with something new for you today. I'm bringing information on the key to success, the key to the money mindset, the key to becoming whatever it is you want to be. So, how can it work for you? You're going to have to stay tuned to see. Looking back from these teachings, it's nothing new. It goes back all the way to the ancient masters. I'm talking about the 5 different mindsets that the ancient masters discovered and how that applies to get into what you want to get into where you want to be, getting to see what you want to see in your life and somebody else's life. Even if you're not trying to use this information, even if you're set on where you're trying to be and you're trying to see somebody else succeed, this is good for you. So, gonna go on with that. Gonna talk about why this is so important, what you're missing, what you haven't been doing correctly to get this skill down, and where it can take you, how it can take you there, what you have to do to build this skill, what kind of things you need to practice so that over time you can achieve the elevation of your mind so you can succeed. So if success is what you're trying to breed, then this is what you need to stay tuned to. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button. That means click it. That means whatever you got to do. If you got a touch screen, you got to press it, whatever, it's all good. So getting with the start, trying to play my part in this situation. So I got to give people a solution so they can stay in tune to the station. So subscribe if you haven't already, bringing new information steady, getting on to it. How I can relate with this information of focus and attention and how it relates to success is I discovered it later in life, and I noticed that there were things to this process that I had done automatically, that I was doing in certain areas of my life, but like I said, it was an automatic thing. It was like a non-conscious thing that I was actually building up focus in certain areas, but there were also other things in my life I was doing, some things that I'm still doing to some extent that really hindered my progress with building attention and getting in the right kind of mindset that I can really get what I'm trying to get and see what I'm trying to see. So I'm gonna really kind of break down more about this topic, break down more about like how it's helped me and how it can help you. So talking about 1, 2, 3, here we go. So now getting into the meat of it, getting into the start, looking at the research from the ancient masters, as I would call them, the people thousands of years ago that passed on this knowledge, might not be so readily available from a Western perspective, from a school system, education system. This is definitely not the path that they would tell you to take. Most people in a Western society would say that building up your skills is going to be the most important thing when it comes to increasing your income or furthering your career. But what this goes to show, what people understood thousands of years ago, is that you could have the highest skill level in any area in the world, but if the mindset is not mastered, then there's always going to be higher levels that you can reach. And it actually goes to show that mindset comes first, because once you have the mindset mastered, then you can build the skills not only more quickly but more efficiently and more effectively. So looking into it, there's like 5 different mindsets that I was talking about. The first one is like a lazy mindset. Really, this kind of mindset, for the most part, it's cool to have once in a while. Sometimes good to just like take it easy and chill for a little bit, but staying in the kind of like calm, peaceful mindset is a good thing. But if you really don't get moving for too long, you stay idle, of course, that's not good. So, it's all in moderation. The next thing though is really like somewhere you don't want to be, and that's having a distracted mind. You got something on your mind, and you can't really, you're trying to focus on other things, but whatever it is that's bothering you or distracting you is just making it really difficult for you to be 100% present in where you're trying to be, because you could have all the skills in the world, all the resources to go out and do what you want to do, start a business, create what you want to create to make the money you're trying to make. But if you can't stay focused on it, if you got something distracting you all the time, you're not going to get very much done. You're not going to make very much progress. Plus, I would have to say, of all the different mindsets, this is just the least enjoyable place to be. So getting down to the next one is this is going to be definitely more important than the last one, and this is about staying active and focused on one thing. So like basically, if your mind is focused on this one thing and it's in your control, right? Like before I was talking about something where it wasn't really in your control, where your mind was distracted by something that you weren't trying to think about. Well, now it's like, if you can get to this mindset where you can decide what you're going to focus on and direct your attention to focus on whatever it is that is going to create the most value, whatever it is that is going to have the biggest impact on your income, if you can stay focused on that, and even staying focused on money, learning about money is going to open up new doors. Is going to have your subconscious working in a way that you might not see at the start, but if you just keep doing it, yeah, it's like a skill you can learn over time. So once you learn that way to clear out distractions and stay focused on one thing at a time, the next mind state is known as, in the West, they consider it as the flow state. And this is a state you want to know if you want to become rich, because this is the state that produces the most money. This is the state that I see. And the people out here who are really getting it, the people out here who I look up to, who I study, who I watch, the people who I'm trying to be something like myself, I see them all, for the most part, able to tap into this flow state and create. They're all able to get into this flow state at will, and this is what allows them to create high quality work, right? Because anybody can go and say that they're gonna go make something and go do something, but if they can't really get into it, if they can't really get into this kind of like state of mind where time doesn't even exist, you're just 100% focused on what you're doing, then I feel like if you don't get into that state, though, whatever you produce is not going to be really of the highest quality, highest caliber, and in return you're not going to get the highest amount of income that you could be pulling in. So you're not going to be getting rich as quick as you could be if you got this down. So it's really like a temporary state of mind that happens when you're being active and doing something. So like when I do these videos, sometimes it takes me a minute. Like sometimes I'll get started and I'll be in my head a little bit, but over time I can get into this flow state and I can just start cruising through all the information, and I don't even really have to think about it. I don't really have to like go through in my head what I'm going to say next. It all just starts flowing, and that's the state I'm trying to get into. That's when I created something and I can tell, okay, I was in this flow state when I did this, and that's why the quality is so high. So really what you want to do is be able to apply that to anything, particularly a goal. And the last state is really like highest mastery, mastery of the mind. This is like a constant, the flow state is like a temporary thing. Obviously you're not going to be working all the time, you're going to be taking breaks to like eat, sleep, associate, talk with people, stuff like that. So this mastery is like a constant mastery, right? So you can be in control of your mind. You can really put your mind in any state you need to be. I mean, say you need to take a day and just be lazy and, you know, let yourself rest. I mean, some people have problems doing that. You know, mastery of the mind, that's going to allow you to do that even if you don't think it's possible, even if you're really living a high stress life, even if, like what I've noticed, I've had this problem myself in times of my life where, you know, I've been constantly hustling, right? Like doing the working all day and then trying to accomplish something else on top of that, spending all my time working. And I know after a while of that, it can be really difficult to just be able to do nothing and relax when that time comes. So, you know, there's a lot more to success than constantly doing something. There's a mastery of the mind states. So you can willingly go in and out of any state of mind that you need to get to where you want to be. You can be able to reach the highest levels of focus and concentration. And this is really, you know, only possible by training your mind to focus deliberately. Like I was saying before, you know, there were things when I first learned these principles that I saw myself doing from the start. And, you know, I can attribute that to having a higher level of focus on certain things. But then there's also things I was doing I was unaware that was really hurting my level of focus that I could cultivate. So, yeah, you know, a lot of people, including myself, just strictly focused on, you know, improving my skills so that I could get to a higher level. But yeah, I think I already said this, so I can just skip this, cut this out. So yeah, this goes to show really mindset is the most important thing for many reasons. You got to know the right way to train your mind for mastery. So this is really, you know, now that you understand what these mind states are and how they are important and how you can really, it's possible to train your mind just like anything else, just like any instrument. You got to know the correct way to do it. So the first thing you got to do is stabilize your mind to build attention. And you can study attention, right? So first you got to control your mind, right? Because if you don't have the control of your mind, you can't really train it. And you've got to become aware of what you consume, right? Because the content of your mind, the way you think, the way you do things on a day-to-day basis is basically controlled by, you know, what you do, what you see, you know, the memories that you make. All these are going to go into play with what you do. So you got to become aware of what you do, how you remember it. This is the first step to master a money mindset. Then you got to learn how to concentrate. So first is mastering the mind, then focusing on concentration. And your mind can increase focus. So you just pretty much have to concentrate on one thing for increasing periods of time. Like if somebody's not used to reading a book, they might find that after, you know, 15, 20 minutes of reading a book, that it's hard for them to remain 100% focused. But then they got to be aware of that. So maybe keep a timer if you're doing this one thing, if you're reading this one book. Keep track, keep a journal. How long are you paying attention before your focus starts dropping from 100%? And you'll see that if you keep track of this and you keep doing this over time, that your focus will increase. And then the intensity of your focus will increase. And then you'll just be applying more energy to whatever it is that you want or need. So, yeah, this will really take you from a place of, you know, going from random thoughts of you know, whatever it is that happens on a daily basis, of constantly being in a reactive state to that, to being in control of the thoughts that are going through your head, of what you're doing at all times, about what you're going to be doing. Really just knowing the path you're on and the next steps that you need to take. So yeah, once you master this, you can really apply it to anything that you want. over time, the challenges that you face will increase, and then increasing your skills to overcome these challenges will be the thing that really keeps you in this flow state. So you know, you hear a lot of people like, you know, they reach their goal, and you know, they maybe retired early, something like that, and then they found out they got bored after maybe like a year or even less, and had to get back out and start doing something again. Well, yeah, this is because if you don't keep challenging yourself, you know, as you increase your level of skill, the challenges are going to come. And once you get the right level of challenge to the right level of skill, and you don't try to do something that you're not capable of, or something that's just super easy to keep on coasting by, that's when you're going to be in the optimal flow state, and that's when you're going to be able to find yourself in the best situations that money just starts flowing to you with minimal amount of effort, meaning it doesn't feel like a hassle to do what you're doing, that you enjoy what you're doing, and what you're doing is creating the highest possible amount of income for your situation. So yeah, that's about it for my information on the money flow state. Hope you got some value off of what I had to say. And like I was saying before, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like button. That's it for today. I'm out.